And here's something that might fit into that category. It's a behind-the-scenes look at a Southern institution, Southern Living Magazine. You know, it's hard to find a home here in Alabama that doesn't have the latest Southern living on the coffee table. So let's go with Pam Huff to find out what makes this magazine a tradition.
What we discovered is a business totally in tune with nature, with its readers, and with the needs of its employees. You could say that this business was built from the outside in.
And I think we were probably one of the first companies to build a building like this that showed how that the building should fit naturally into the landscape here. And it's almost like the site was not touched and the building was just kind of dropped in so that it's natural and so that it belongs. If you go up on some of the upper floors there, that some people have described their offices as they feel like they're sitting in a little tree house.
And up in those tree houses, the people who make this magazine work tackle every detail with diligence.
Scratch them out would be better, or maybe just do them on a piece of white tape. And just
from the art department, to a taste test, to a photo shoot.
Let me make one quick adjustment and we can do the real thing.
Pick up any issue of Southern Living and you can immediately transport yourself to a garden setting, or a cozy kitchen with cookies baking in the oven, or to a vacation spot beneath a southern sun. Travel editor Gary Ford says that's certainly not by chance. Nothing gets into this magazine without passing the acid test.
What's Southern about it? The South, more than any other region of the country, has such a strong regional identity still. We will do stories and sometimes go into great explanation to show the southernness of a place.
To keep that Southern flair, who better to write about the South than Southerners? And that's why all of this magazine's editors are born and bred in the South.
They all live the same lifestyles that our readers live, and as a result is that when you read the pages of the magazine is that those specific little nuances of knowledge as it comes through. For example, our foods editors, they're also mothers and homemakers, and they prepare dishes and foods that they know their own family would love to eat.
Speaking of food, who hasn't tried a recipe from Southern Living? These women test and then retest recipes you send in, as many as 4,000 in a month.
Testing is very intensive during the morning hours, and then at 12:30 every day, the food staff comes here into the test kitchen. We have 6 test kitchen home economists as well as 6 food editors, plus the editor of the magazine. So all 13 of us sit around this table to taste test approximately 25 or 30 recipes a day.
This is the oyster. On this day, they trusted me to dish out the gumbo. Now, these home economists grade the dishes on taste, appeal, and ease of preparation. The gumbo was great, but it took 3 hours to prepare. So before this recipe goes to print, these women may find a way to trim some of that time. Now, in today's South, you might ask, who has the time for a garden? But you might be surprised.
Gardening has been increasing, surprisingly enough. Their home life becomes more important to them because perhaps they are busier, they don't have the time to travel and go out as much, and so there seems to be a tendency towards tending your own backyard, so to speak.
Southern Living offers a beautiful example at the magazine's garden it maintains at the Birmingham Botanical Gardens. But whether your interest lean toward the garden, or to the kitchen, or to that vacation spot, this magazine brings it to you through pictures. Art director Donovan Harris and his staff must produce a layout flashy enough to catch your eye, but there are also other boundaries.
Southern Living is a conservative magazine, so we maintain a conservative style also. But at the same time, we want to look up to date. We say we try to look conservatively contemporary.
Now, it surprised me to learn that the most read page of Southern Living is the last page, the weather forecast. It has a new look, but it didn't come overnight.
It took us a year to redesign it.
And it is that type of commitment to excellence that ensures Southern Living's future. It is a magazine filled with Southern pride.
We like to think of ourselves mainly as a picture book, that people that look at the magazine will be proud from the South. Because that's what we are. We're a magazine for Southerners, produced by Southerners.
What a great organization, but I'm sure that all didn't happen overnight.
It didn't, but you know, surprisingly, it's a relatively new magazine. The magazine itself is only 22 years old. There's a man by the name of Emery Cunningham who about 23 years ago had this marvelous idea to start a regional magazine. And he came up with the format. He said, I want to have cooking in it, I want to have home and gardens, and I'd like to have travel in the South to get people acquainted with the South. He went to New York to check it out and say, what do you think of my format? They said, the first 3 are okay. Don't go with the travel because in 6 months' time you will have been everywhere there is to go in Alabama or over the South. Well, that was 22 years ago, and they're still going strong.
Finding places
They
to
certainly
go,
are.
aren't they? Great-looking places to go, by the way.
Well, and you know, the readers are the ones who help them select those places. The readers who call and say, this was wonderful, tell me more about it. Or bed and breakfast are very, very popular, and they're going to a lot of those these days.
You know, Southern Living's a great tradition in Alabama.